Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial on this mauve eye makeup look right here. I actually did this look on Snapchat a few days ago and a lot of you guys actually wanted a tutorial on it, so I thought why not, let's do it. So here I am with it. If you guys want to learn how to create this look, then please keep on watching. Alright guys, first things first, I'm going to start by priming my face, and I'm using the new Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. It's a face primer and moisturizer into one, and this is new from them, and I got this in a PR box a couple weeks ago. I have been using it ever since, and I really do enjoy it. So I'm just applying that with my fingers all over the face. So for foundation, I'm also going to be using the Smashbox Studio Skin Shaping Foundation Stick in 3.2. So this is a dual-ended foundation stick. It has the actual foundation at one end and then a soft contour shade on the other that matches supposedly perfectly for your skin tone. I got a bit tan from Hawaii, so I'm much darker than my normal foundation shade. So I'm just applying that using the Makeup Shack foundation brush. I have been loving this brush to apply my foundation, both creams and liquids. It just blends everything out so flawlessly, and it just makes my skin look airbrushed and flawless, and it just covers everything. So I really love this brush for foundation so far. This foundation is actually pretty nice so far. When I first used it, I was kind of about it. It really didn't impress me that much, but I started using it more and I started to like it a bit more. When I first started using it though, I found that it was a bit dry using some brushes, and I didn't really like how it applied using a beauty blender. So I like using this brush for it. I find that this brush is probably the only one that made it look flawless and cover everything and just make my skin look amazing. I used it with the oval brush before from Crown. Didn't really do a job. Definitely you have to like stipple it or pat the foundation in rather than swipe, because if you swipe it, I found that the foundation actually comes off. So that's just a little mini review and my thoughts on this foundation, but I'm trying to use it more to see how I actually like it. But so far it's been working nicely. So yeah, just going to apply that for foundation before moving on to the eye makeup. So we're getting started on the eyes now, and I'm using the Smashbox lid primer in medium to prime the lids. I was using my Shape Tape concealer by Tarte for a while and it worked for a bit, but then as I was using it more and more, I found that my makeup, like my eye makeup, was creasing a lot more. So I moved back to this primer and my eye makeup has just been flawless ever since. So I really like this primer. I know I've been using a lot of Smashbox products in this tutorial so far, but I've just been receiving like a lot of makeup from them in PR and have been testing it out, and I have been liking the products that they've been sending. So just prepping our eyes for eyeshadow and all that good stuff. I'm going to set this with a translucent powder as well to make it easier to blend the shadows. So the first palette I'm going to be using is the Naked 3 palette by Urban Decay, and I'm taking the shade called Limit and applying that into the crease using my Sigma E40 brush. This is going to be the transition shade. You can't really see it on my skin tone, but it's a very light pink shade that's supposed to be on my skin tone. So I have to build it up quite a lot for it to show. This is kind of one of the reasons why I don't really like the Naked palettes. The pigmentation of the shadows are just not impressive, but the colors are so pretty, so I wanted to use it. So that's why I kind of use the palette for my eye makeup look. So I'm just going to be building that color up just until I get some type of pink onto the lid. It's just basically there to transition the colors and to also blend the darker colors that we're going to be using as well. So yeah, just gonna be sweeping that back and forth into the crease lightly, also using some circular motions as well. Alright, so the next shade I'm going to take is the shade called Nooner. It's a deeper mauve shade, and I'm placing this right below the Limit shade because I still want Limit to still be peeking out very slightly so that it kind of makes this whole eye makeup look more soft and romantic rather than just straight up like a dark smoky mauve eye makeup look, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm just blending that back and forth using my BH Cosmetics blending brush. So I'm going to go in with the Marvelous Mauves palette, where I opened the palette and the brush came out and freaking scared me, so I'm doing ridiculous faces. I'm taking the shade called Wishy Washy, and I'm going to be placing that into the outer V. Honestly, what better way to do this mauve eye makeup look than with the Dose of Colors Marvelous Mauves palette? It's one of the best like matte eyeshadow palette that I have ever used. The pigmentation is insane. I love it so much. I talked about this in my favorites video a while back. So I'm just applying the wishy-washy shade, if I could speak, into the outer V, and I'm also bringing that up into the outer crease as well. Not bringing that all the way in, just focusing on the outer parts of the eyes basically. And I'm using a Morphe brush. I don't recall the name of it, and the name has faded on the brush, but I'm just going to be applying that, blending everything out with the wishy-washy shade. Like I talked about before, the Naked palette pigmentation is just really not that great, but I just wanted to use it because the colors are beautiful. But the Mauve palette came to save the day. So now I'm taking the shade called Spaced Out, and it's a muted berry mauve shade. I'm going to be taking this on a Sigma E25 brush and placing it right next to that wishy-washy shade that was in the outer V. So I'm putting it right next to it, not on top of it. So it's going in a little bit closer to the lid area. This is kind of where we start deepening up the eye makeup look. Next shade is going to be called Wine Stain. It's a blackberry shade. So it's not black, it's like a blackberry shade like it's described. This is really going to be the darkest shade that we use, and I'm applying this where the spaced out shade is. So you still want a little bit of that spaced out to be peeking through the blackberry or the wine stain shade. As you could see, you could kind of still see that kind of warm red berry color next to that darker blackberry shade. So I'm using also a Sigma E25 brush to apply this on. Make sure that you don't blend this all the way into the crease, because you still want like that soft effect like I've been saying for a while. You don't want this to be a super dark makeup look. It's supposed to be more soft and romantic. Okay, so for the lid color, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Macaron Shadow, and I'm wetting my brush with the Urban Decay B6 Prep Spray. If you have Fix Plus, go ahead and use that. I happened to run out, so this was the closest thing I had. I'm just applying this on the lid with a flat shader brush. And if you have the Naked 3 palette and you don't have Macaron, Dust from the Naked 3 works fine. The thing is, I didn't use that shade because the pigmentation was just terrible. So I had to go with something else that worked way better, and Macaron was the closest thing I had. But I did try to use Dust. It just didn't work out for me. You could try it out if you would like. Just keep patting that on until you get nice pigmentation onto the lids. Alright, so I'm going to finish the rest of my face now before finishing the eyes. I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in medium as my under eye highlight and concealer, and basically highlighting everywhere else on my face. And I'm going to be blending that out with a damp beauty blender. I'm going to speed through this pretty fast just because my foundation routine is already up on my channel. I will link that down below if you're interested in seeing it. But it's basically the same like routine that I have as before. So I'm going to speed through my face routine so that we could get finished with the eye makeup. Alright guys, I'm going to finish off the eye makeup look. So I'm going to be smoking out the lash line, and I am basically starting from light to dark. So I'm going to be using the 3 shades that we used from the Dose of Colors palette. This is Wishy Washy, and I'm using my Luxie brush. I don't remember the name of it. I'm so sorry. It will be listed down below. Then I'm going to go in with Spaced Out with a Sigma shader brush as well, blending that out. And then I'm going to lastly take Wine Stained on a pencil brush and just blending that out on the outer part of the lower lash line only. So now just prepping my lashes for falsies. I'm just curling them with my NYX lash curler and then coating some mascara on them. I'm using the Lash Paradise mascara from L'Oreal. And for falsies, I'm going to be using the House of Lashes Iconics. And to finally finish off this entire look, I'm going to be using the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in Plum Queen. This is one of their newest shades. It's so beautiful. It's still like a bold color, but it's not too bold or bright and not too dark either. So it's the perfect shade for this eye makeup look. And that completes the tutorial, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching and for subscribing. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Cool.